Hello and welcome to day 2 of the 30 Women, 30 Stories for the month of September. Here we go. I am super, super excited. I really am super excited because it's women sharing their testimonies and their stories. But first and foremost, let's do a few things. Comment below as you're coming on. Definitely do me a huge favor and share the video out so other people can join and watch. And also, if you don't mind, also sharing it in your Facebook groups. If you have a few groups, definitely share those out as well, because I really want these stories to be shared with other people. Another thing, if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, a note forgot, definitely do that, because all the recordings for the next 30 days are going to be posted on YouTube as soon as we're done. It goes live on YouTube. So, if you have to take care of the kids, if you have to, I don't know, get something from the door or what have you, you can always go back and watch the full replay on YouTube and also on Facebook. So definitely do me that favor by sharing out. Again, if you're on here, say hello. How are you? We'll wait for a few minutes for my guest today. I'm super excited for this person to come on today. Here we go. Because she is truly a woman of God that I truly, truly admire, that I take everything what she says to heart, because I know it's coming from a good place. All right, so if you're on here, say hello. Comment below. Let me see what's going on here. Let me see if this is working. It is perfect. Okay. Let me make sure this is working, you guys, and then we'll go ahead and continue. Yes, here we go. Anyway, so definitely share this out. Let me get back to the banner here. Here we go. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's always going to be there for the every time we get done. Like I said, it's going to be posted there. And where are we here? Here we go. What is going on? Every time we try to do something new. Anyway, so that's fine. All right. So definitely, like I said, share this out, comment below, share on your wall, again, to your Facebook groups, tag a few friends below who can not only could join the Facebook Live, but also that they might want to hear the rest of the interview later, right? That is really how to help me really spread the message of not being afraid to share our testimony, right? And I think you heard me yesterday. If you did not hear the first one, that was yesterday, definitely check it out. It's on my wall and also, again, on YouTube. I think she's here. Oh, it worked. I'm talking to myself, and then I see you. I was like, oh, it does work. You think the technology. That's fine now. Because I've never done a dual one on this one. So I was like, okay, I'm waiting. We shall see.
How many platforms you on right now?
Just 2, just Facebook and YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think you get to.
Okay, cool.
I don't know if I can go more, but I just did YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I definitely want to do that. Let me see here.
Okay.
I kind of briefly said. Anyway, so we'll just continue. I was just saying.
Okay.
Like, what was I saying? Anyway, I was saying that you are here today. But a little bit background story of how I met you. I don't think many people know. I was driving to work, and my commute was 30 minutes. And I don't know how I either saved your video or you were on in the morning, because I think you're 2 hours ahead of me.
Yeah.
Right, 2 hours ahead of me. So I think I don't remember, but it was either I saved the video to watch it later because I saw the title, or you were live and I saw the title. I was like, okay, let me tune in to see what she got to say, right? Because it's 30 minutes live. It's a 30-minute work. And you obviously know my background or what I went through. So
yeah,
that's really how I met you. And I sent you a message and I was like, what you said really resonated because of, what I was going through.
Yeah.
And I always feel like if you watch like a Facebook Live, and you might not even know the person or even know the person, it's nice just to send them a message like, hey, at least I listen, or this is what we involved, right? Because it kind of helps you. It kind of helps you like, oh, okay, somebody's listening.
Yeah.
Talking to a wall. So, you know what I mean? Like sometimes you're just like, nobody's listening. So
I mean, I felt like that in the beginning. I was like, well, I just talk to myself.
Exactly. So I was like, coming, courtesy. I'm like, let me just send her a message to say, I heard what you said. You don't even know me because I don't know you. But this is what I'm going through. And you're like, okay, that's great, right? So ever since then, I'm going to say 2018. That's really where I've known you, and then I got to meet you, I think, last year at DC. So that was like really, really good. But what I was saying before you got on here is that you're one of, like, I can count in one hand whose advice like I really take to heart and consider, and I may not want to because because we feel stuck on our feelings and flesh. But but I know that it's the truth.
Yeah.
It might take me a while, but
that's fine.
Right, that's Julie. I don't care.
No,
but I was just saying that you're like one of the 5 people. There's a few other people, and then I was like, well, if Ty says it has to be. Right. It has to be right. But then I sit up. So, it's gonna be
a battle every day.
It is because it's like I don't want to do it, but she said so. Then anyway. So I have your information right on here. You can connect with Ty on IG at Tyniqua Miller Facebook group. Because you're also a realtor. Let me do this right here. Can I do? You
realtor, intercessor, credit consultant, case manager for foster children.
I remember.
Future paralegal.
I'm for hire, so there you go. Whatever you need. Yeah, there you go.
Whatever you need.
Definitely. So, and I also have your website, faithfullykeys.weebly.com. I had to put a space there because it was all together. All right, so we do that one. Okay, so we did cover IG, Facebook. So if you ever want to contact her, guys, this is definitely the information. Like, because I was saying it's also on YouTube and on Facebook. And you know how that happens. I don't have the control for that one. Hear my kids? Okay. You hear them? The minute here. Thank you. There we go. Okay, come here. All right, so let's get to it because he's already. Anyway, he's 4.
Yeah.
How I know you told me this, but how really, when or what events really led to your decision to really just give your life to Christ and really starting this, I want to say, journey or path? Let's start with there because.
Okay. Well,
we get right to it. We got you.
Okay, so just going with that, I was baptized when I was 10 years old. So I've always been raised up in the church. Now, I wasn't like consistently in the church. I would say probably like my middle school or high school years was when we wasn't like that much consistent in the church. When I was a little girl raising up, we was consistent with my grandmother. It was like up until my grandmother had got sick, she had a stroke. And then once she had that stroke, we wasn't really going to church as often, because she had a disability. So I didn't really start getting back into church until I'll say my college years. And I would go and just, just a 10. Now I wasn't like fully all up to, I had 1 foot hell, 1 foot in heaven. I was that Christian where you could still party and still go to church. I didn't see the problem with it. So I was that person. And so I was doing that. I would say I got a little bit more into church after my son was born. And I would say my son probably like 6 months old. And I was going through with his daddy. So I went to church and I went to church and I remember, yes. So I went to church and like my pastor was actually speaking to, like, he did a message at the end after he did after he got done preaching. He said he had a message, a word for all the single mothers. And he called all of us to come down to the altar. And so we came down to the altar. It was like, God told me to tell y'all to stop compromising with your children's fathers to make sure they have a relationship with their father. He said, I'm gonna allow me to be the father to your children and allow me to be your husband until I, connect you with your husband. And that always stuck to me. So that was probably back in 2012 when God told me that. So about 2014 is when I started getting involved in my church. I started, I still was still playing, but I went to church and I had got involved in a ministry. It was called what was it called? We called it Corner of Love, where we go out and we feed the homeless once a month. So I thought, okay, that's an easy one for me considering my work schedule, me having a son, I was going to school. And I was like, that's pretty much, work with me, going to feed the homeless for one day after month. So I did that. So probably like the next year, and one of my good friends right now, and she came to me at one of our functions. We had a banquet. My pastor did a banquet for all the volunteers in the church. And so she came to me, met me at the table, and was like, how many ministries are you in? I was like, I'm in what? She's like, do you want to be in another ministry? And I was like, what is it? So she was like, we go out of what's called hospitality. What we do is pretty much, when the church have functions, we go out and serve the food, clean up, we have to go to different events. That's what we do. So I was like, okay, I can check it out. And I remember talking to my granny about it, and my granny was like, yeah, when I was young, I was hospitality. So I'm like, okay. So I did hospitality, and, I did that for hospitality and Corner of Love. I did those for 2 years. And then in 2000, what led me into giving myself completely to God in 2017 was in 2015, we found out that some family had stole some inheritance from, stolen inheritance on my grandmother's side of the family. So we found that stuff out. We tried to, get all that situated. It's like close to the end of 2015. So right. 2016, my granny was like, I'll just go ahead and she didn't like everybody arguing and stuff because we got a lawyer and stuff. So she wanted to counsel a lawyer. She'd give it to the Lord's hand and stuff. So we did that at the beginning of 2016. I'll say probably like January. February, I got laid off from my job. I had been on my job for 9 years. And I had been working there since I was in college. And I had finally rose up I worked at store level, and then I made it to the corporate level. Mm-hmm. So I probably was in corporate for like 2 or 3 months, and then corporate came to us and was like, they bought us donuts, had a breakfast for us and everything, came all the way down from another state and told us, yeah, y'all getting laid off. We was like, hold up there, wait on the back. Hold on, I just made it to the corporate, but yeah, so they laid us off. So I got laid off in February 2016. What else happened? March. What was this? March or April? No, June. June 2016 is when the guy that I thought that I was supposed to be with, he told me that he didn't want to, I asked him, can we go and be, relationship at the time. We was in a I'll call it situationship. And he actually was a childhood friend. I had been his friend for we had been friends since we was like 13 and 14 years old. So we didn't start like actually technically dating till we got into college. And we didn't take it to the next level, you know, until after I had broke up with my baby daddy. So after my son was born. So I would say we did that in like 2013 all the way to 2016. So that was like 3 years. So at that time I was like, you know, I'm gonna be 30 this year. You know, my son getting older. I want to start a family. I want to have more kids. I want to get married. And I had came to him and I told him that you know, we had a talk and I was like, you know, I want to take this to the next level. I want us to, you know, be in a relationship. He told me that he did not want to be, he wasn't ready to be in a relationship right now. And, you know, the long distance and stuff like that, 'cause he lived in a different city. So I was like, okay, well, if you don't want to do that, then we have to end this. So we ended up ending that. Do you know your screen is off, Grace?
My screen?
Yeah, you're black.
I can see you.
Okay, your screen is dark.
What the heck? Hold on. Let me see.
I don't know if you did it purposely, but I was like, let me let you know.
No, I can see you and hear you. And well, I'm looking on the Facebook. I
can hear you, yeah.
I'm looking on Facebook and it looks fine.
I don't know. I wonder why it's dark on my end. I don't know.
I have no idea.
I don't know. Anywho,
I'm looking on Facebook and we look fine. So I guess that's good.
Okay. Okay. Well, as long as we're good on the other media, I don't know what I'm seeing. Okay, so anyway, where was I at about before? Okay, so we so he was like, you know, so we ended it or whatnot.
Right.
I had read this book. Like after that, what else happened? Oh yeah. So after that or whatnot, his birthday was like the next month, and he was throwing like this big birthday bash and stuff like that.
Patricia says she can see us both just fine. There we go. I just wanted to make sure.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's what I was like, wait.
I was like, I don't know why it's black on my end. I don't know. But if everybody can see you, then that's good. That's good.
Patricia said, I can see you both just fine. Thank you so much.
Okay, cool. Okay, so he had like this big old birthday bash, right? So it's supposed to be like this all white party or whatever. So
I remember this.
So he was supposed to do that or whatnot. So I was like, okay, cool. I asked him, I was like, because he had been telling me, you know, we talked to each other all the time. He was telling me like how he was planning it and all this type of stuff. So I'm over here, we all got the same mutual friends. So I'm like, okay, I'm just waiting for him to give me this invitation. You know, it's like, you know, that's the normal thing. You know, he talks about it every day. They tell you about their birthday party, you think you're going to get an invitation. So I'm sitting here waiting for the invitation. They never gave it to me. So I seen one of my friends, they were talking about, I think they had made a post and was like, thank you for my invitations. I got my invitation in the mail. So I'm like, okay, maybe they got the invitation first. Then I see somebody else make posts and like, thank you for the invitation. I got my invitation. I'm like, oh, okay, everybody getting an invitation. So I politely called them whatever. So even though, you know, he said he wanted to end with the whole thing, we still kind of like, you know, friends or whatever. So I told him, you know, everybody got the invitation. Are you giving me an invitation? So he was like, oh, no, I'm not going to give you no invitation. I don't have enough invitations. Like it's me. It's not just me having the party, but it's me and another person that's having the party together. It's only a certain amount of people that can be, you know, at this boat or whatever. So I'm like, okay, cool, fine, whatever. I said, so you're gonna put everybody else and get everybody else these invitations, but you didn't give me. So he was like, nah, why are you throwing out of proportion? I said, well, I'm not throwing out proportions. The common sense would be if we talking to each other like all the time, why would you not invite me to the party, whatever? So he was like, well, I had, you know, other people that had to be, you know, I'm not the only person giving an invitation. I had to give it to other people. I said, oh, so everybody else is important but me. All right, cool, fine. So I remember I was mad and stuff, and I had called up one of my friends, And I was like, why would we like, you know, crash this party? And she was like, what you talking about, Ty? I said, let's crash it. Like it's all white, I don't wear like all black and just go. And she was like, she was like, Ty, you crazy? You can't crash this party. I was like, why not?
That's what I said. Why not?
Yeah. So she didn't want to do it. So I just said, okay, fine. So I guess that was the blood of Jesus that saved me on that. So I'll say after that, I didn't talk to him no more. Like we just stopped talking.
Mm-hmm.
So in July, I came across the book called The Way, and by Megan Good and her husband. So I read that book, and I was like, okay, that's pretty good. So after I read that book, I decided I was like, okay, I'm not gonna have sex no more until I get married, because apparently I make bad choices. And men, and I just want to wait until I get married before I do this again.
Right.
So we go forward to September. On Labor Day weekend, my grandmother, on actual Labor Day, my grandmother died.
Oh, okay.
My grandmother died, so on Labor Day. And after she died, like, you know, I hadn't talked to him since July. Mm-hmm. And so, like, after she died, you know, he was still friends with me. No, he wasn't friends with me. I had blocked him. I did. Yeah, I blocked him. I blocked him on. Yeah, I blocked him on Facebook. I blocked him on my phone. And so, like, but he was still friends with my sisters and my cousins. So when my granny died, he reached out to my sisters and was, you know, giving his condolences to them. And then he was asking about me and all that stuff. And then he still had my mom number, because remember we had been friends since we were like kids. So he talked to my mom, called my mom his mama, you know, my sisters and stuff. So he called my mama and, you know, told her, you know, written condolences and stuff about my grandmother passing away and stuff like that, and asked about me and all that. So he sent us a sympathy card or whatever. My mom was like, Ty, be nice. Don't be mean. He's trying to, you know, I was like, okay, fine, whatever. So I unblocked him. I talked to him or whatever, and he was apologizing for how he acted. He was like, I know I did wrong, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so we this September. So we move forward from that. He apologized. We go back to being cool. So we talking to each other almost every day. So after we get done with that, talk to each other like probably around, and at this time he didn't tell me that he had no girlfriend or nothing like that. He didn't tell me he in a relationship or nothing. We just talking to like how we normally talk. And so in Thanksgiving he came down because he stayed in another city. So Thanksgiving he came down. He came to my parents' house and he was talking to us. And you know, I brought up about a relationship. He still didn't say nothing about him being in a relationship. So I'm like, okay, cool. A couple of weeks after Thanksgiving, I'll say the beginning of December, I was at work and my little sister called me and she was like, Ty, have you seen no, she asked me, she was like, is such and such in a relationship? And I was like, what you talking about? And so she was like, he posted on social media, on Facebook, that he's in a relationship. And I was like, what do you tell me he posted? And I said, well, I don't know. I said, I'm not his friend on Facebook, so I don't know. So she was like, go and check. So I checked it. And sure enough, he posted that he was in a relationship and had like over 1,000 something comments and likes.
Like, wait, what? Who is this?
Yeah. Because I'm like, what the? So I call him, you know?
Right.
No, I text him. I text him because I was at work and I know he was at work too. So I text him. You know, I don't normally do text him, ask how he was doing. He's like, I'm doing fine, I'm good. I said, okay. So I said, okay, are you in a relationship? He was like, yes, I am. And I said, well, how long you been in a relationship? And so he said, I think it's for the last 3 months. So I started counting back, and I'm like, that's the time back when you started back talking to me. And so I said, okay, so when was you gonna let me know? He said, well, now you know. Why did you say that? Why you say, well, now you know? Why did you say that? So I said, okay, let me call you. So I tried to call him, he didn't answer.
Of course
I called again, he didn't answer.
Why would
I took an early lunch break just to call. I said, let me go to lunch right quick. I called, he didn't answer. I called again, he didn't answer. I text him, he didn't answer. I'm sorry, my phone.
That's okay. You're like,
Okay, so I text him. And so he talking about, so he didn't respond. So I said, okay, that's fine. Maybe he just, maybe it didn't work. I'm gonna give the benefit of the doubt. Everybody just feelings up high. We're just gonna let everything just mellow down. So I said, I'll give him a day. I give myself a day. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So when I the next day I said, okay, I called him, and so he didn't answer, of course. So I texted him, and then he responded back, and I was like, well, when you gonna tell me this? And so what did he say? He was like, I said, this is what I don't understand about the whole situation. I said, before we was even messing with each other, we was always friends first. I said, so we just got through like arguing and not talking to each other, and you just came back apologizing for what you did last time and said you're gonna do better. So my thing is, even if you're in a relationship or not, because we're not in a relationship right now, I think you could have gave me the benefit of the doubt, or the heads up that, hey, Ty, I'm in a relationship, or hey, Ty, I'm about to post that I'm in a relationship. I said, because my family is all your friends, and like it caught them off guard, and I'm getting all these phone calls because my sister wasn't the only one to call me. My older sister called me, my cousins called me, so I'm getting all these calls because nobody knows what's going on, and I don't know what's going on. I said, so you could have gave me the benefit of the doubt and just said, time in a relationship to make this post, instead of just be like, surprise, you know what I'm saying? So he was like, well,
now you know.
Girl, he told me that before. So he was like, well, I told everybody, he said, everybody that's important in my life, they already knew. I already told them. And I said, whoa. So he texting this, he ain't talking to me on the phone. He texting all this stuff. I'm like, ooh. I said, ooh. I said, okay. So I said, I guess, so, we go back and forth. We talk about each other, whatever. I was so, by the time I got done with that text, I was so hot. Like, my family never seen me that mad. I know my eyes are probably red. I was like, I'm about to go drive down to his city just to slap the dog crap out of him. That's what I wanted to do.
Right.
It was just in my soul. And I had never been that angry, not since my baby daddy. But I was like, I just want to slap him one good time and drive right back home. That's how bad it was.
Right, because you guys live in two
two different cities. And where he said is real far. It's like 3 hours away or whatever. I was so mad. I wanted to drive 3 hours just to slap him to come back home. That's how mad I was, and I know that's crazy.
Well, you're not the only woman who ever had those thoughts. So we're not condoning. We're not condoning it, but
I know we're not condoning it. We're saved now. We're holy.
Right, but it's true.
We are holy now. We're holy. See, this is when we wasn't holy. I was like halfway holy.
Right.
But now completely holy. See, this I got holy in February 2017.
Right.
But now, this one I was like completely holy. So I knew it was all the angels. It had to be. God had to send the angels to me that day, and literally, like, swamp me and just keep me where I was at. It had to be. But just backing up to with Tiffany, Tiffany Montgomery is my mentor. So with Tiffany, I had ran across Tiffany Periscope a year before. I seen it one time. I watched it, I laughed. I never watched the Periscope. No, I never followed her no more. She came back across me like probably after my grandmother died. I say about in October. When it was the upcoming election, she was talking about Trump and all that. So I watched that. I laughed at that, and I just started like watching some of her videos. Mm-hmm. Well, she started talking about her trying to host this conference called Millions Conference, and she was talking about it's my first time hosting a conference. If you feel like that God is leading you to do this, it'll be. She said, people was talking about where it's going to be at. She said, I don't know, but wherever it's going to be far. It's going to be outside of your hometown. You got to take that leap of faith.
Right.
I was like, man, she finally told us where it's gonna be at. She's like, it's gonna be in Chicago. So I was like, Chicago in the winter? She's like January. And I said, woo-wee. I said, that's no a blizzard. I said, I ain't never flew anywhere by myself. Like literally. Anytime I travel, I was traveling with my family or my friends. So I never went nowhere by myself. So I tried to ask my cousins, my friends to come with me. They was like, no, we can't go. Something came up. And I was like, man, I said, so somebody had told Tiffany the same thing like that was going on with me. Like, how I'm going to go here? Nobody wants to go with me. Never travel nowhere far. What should I do? And so she was like, you need to talk to God. This is a destiny altering move, and it's not a move for everybody. So talk to God and ask God, are you supposed to be there? And if you are, he'll make a way. I said, okay. So I prayed, and I told God, if I'm supposed to be here, make a way for me. Make a way for me to go. And I said, and I'll follow. And this is what I'm like really, really saying, but I just told God this prayer. Well, the very next day, because I think that was on a Saturday or something, the very next day, my pastor, he preached a message, and the message was go. And he was talking about how, I think it was, what's that name? I think it was Joshua, how they went to go and search out the land where milk and honey was at. And they came back and told everybody else how that land looked. So he was like, sometimes God tells you to go when he tells you to go, you have to go by yourself. And the reason why you're going by yourself is so that you can search out the land that got milk and honey, and you can come back and tell everybody else about it. And he said, I don't care. He said, I don't care if you've never been before, if you never traveled by yourself, if you say you ain't got the money, if you scared, if God tell you to go, you better go. And I said, well, I think that I don't think it's no clearer than that. And my mama, I showed my mom the video, and so she was like, because she's very skeptical about me, like, traveling by myself because I'm, single woman and stuff like that. But she watched the video, she was like, I don't know, that may be God. I said, yeah, so I guess I go ahead and buy the ticket. I said, I don't know how everything else is going to follow. I don't know about travel, I don't know about hotel, I don't know who I'm going to stay with. I don't even know where I'm going. Don't even know who Tiffany Montgomery is. I don't know I don't know where I'm going. I said, I'm buying this ticket.
You so go to my city.
I bought the ticket. And I'm like, Lord, I don't know what to do next. I ain't never flew nowhere by myself. I don't know how to use no Uber, because people was asking her, like, how we get to the thing. She's like, oh, use Uber. Lyft. I was like, what is that? I don't know how to use Uber. I'm not using Uber and Lyft. And I was like, well, do that. And then she was like, they was like, well, who can we stay with like the hotel? And they was some of the hotel fees and stuff. And I was like, I don't know nobody. And that's what she was saying. I'm going to create this book club. And she said, in the book club, y'all can connect with people and see if, you can find your partner, friend, or somebody that can roommate with you or something. I was like, okay, cool. But I still was nervous. I'm like, I don't know these two. They could be serial killers. I don't know.
You don't stay with nobody. I know. I feel you. I know.
I just didn't know what was going on. So I'm just like, okay, fine. So I talked to what happened. So I did that. So I said yes to that. So let me see. What else happened? Yeah, I had to finish paying for my grandmother's my granny still owed on her car. So I had to finish paying her car note off. So I was like, man, if I finish paying this car off, I ain't gonna have no money for the flight and for the the hotel and stuff. But it's back in January, so it's like December. Like close to the end of December, my sister birthday is my baby sister birthday is the beginning of January. And so she had never done this before, but she had called me and she was like, Ty, I want to go to Atlanta for my birthday. I was like, your birthday next week. She was like, I know, but I want to go to Atlanta for my birthday. And I was like, who all gonna go? She was like, me, you, and two of our best friends. And I was like, what money? I said, you have to get up here and it's going. I gotta go to Chicago at the end of January. Like, what money am I have? She was like, oh, I'll pay for your flight and stuff, and you just pay me back. And I said, she said, you want to go? I said, yeah, I guess I have no choice. I said, so I'll go. So none of us had ever been to Atlanta before. So we go. We go on her birthday weekend. So we get there, right? I had everything booked under my name, like the flight, what was it, the car and all that. So literally, like the night before, because we had an early morning flight. So the night before, we packing and stuff. Tell me why I switched my purses. And when we made it to Atlanta,
Wait.
we made it to Atlanta to get to get the car or whatever after we got off the flight. The car that my car was booked on, I had left it in Texas. Yo, looking for that purse. My sister said, "No, you didn't lose it." I said, "Switch the purses." I said, "I think I left the card." So I had called my mom and I was like, "Mom, you check my purse stuff and see if I left that card." And she was like, "Yeah, you left it." I said, "Oh Lord." So we sit up and looking, and we like, "They said, Ty, what we gonna do? What we gonna do? We can't get a rental car." And I said, "Ooh." I said, "Well, y'all know about that Uber and Lyft."
Look at that comeback.
They said, "We don't know about." They said, "We done heard about Uber and Lyft, but we, get it. We city girls. We all got our own car. We ain't never had to use no Uber and Lyft."
Right. I'm the
so
same.
Like, we know about Uber and Lyft. We ain't never had to use it.
Right.
So I'm like, okay. So we over here looking crazy, talking to strangers, asking them how can you use the Uber and the Lyft.
Looking at you crazy because you don't know how to use it.
They're crazy. Oh my God. So they tell us how, how to use the Uber and Lyft. So we download, we start, my sister and them start doing research and find out all these codes and stuff you can get. If you share the code, you get 20% off, all that. So we ought to download these Ubers and Lyft. And we just rotated on our Ubers and Lyft. And so that's how I learned how to ride Uber and Lyft. We also, when we was riding our Uber, they was telling us about the train. They was like, you can save money too by just getting, riding the train. And we were like, riding the train. And they was like, yeah, you can ride the train. We said, they got a train? They said, yeah. So we learned how to ride the train. So we rode the train, saved some money on there. We did the Uber and the Lyft. I remember God telling me, this is going to be your last time partying. That's what I heard him. And I didn't even know God, I didn't even, like how I know him now. Right. I wasn't talking to him like that. But I heard him clearly say, it's going to be your last time partying, so have fun. I said, okay.
Right. Hold up.
So I did. So, we went to the club. They took me to the strip club for the first time. We went to a women's strip club.
You were trying to go all out.
You said what?
You were trying to go all out at your last party.
Yeah, I tried to go all out. I said, we better do it all. I'm gonna get drunk. I'm doing everything. And they was like, Ty, we ain't never seen you like this. And I was like, I know y'all haven't. Y'all never will again. Okay. So I did all of that. We had a good time. And then after we came back, just fast forward, we came back from that. That's in January. So when we came back, I probably had like a week in between, and I had to go to Chicago. Right. So when it was time for me to go to Chicago, everything was fast. Like, I knew how to catch a flight by myself. I wasn't afraid of flying by myself. Because when me and my sister and our friends, when we flew back, they ended up having a rope because it was an issue that happened. So they had changed seats with some other passengers. And I ended up having to ride back to Texas by myself.
Oh.
So I knew that was God too. So when I flew to Chicago by myself, but I actually had one of my friends and stuff, that's my friends now, I had met her at the airport. Like, we was waiting, and then she looked at me and she was like, "You look familiar." And I said, "Yes." And she was like, "Are you part of Millions Conference?" And I said, "Yes." And she was like, "What's your name?" And I told her, and she like, "Yes, I'm the one," because we had met each other on Tiffany Book Club. But I had never seen her. We never met each other in person. Right. And she was like, "I'm such and such." And I said, "Oh, okay." But she ended up being in first class. So I still had to ride by myself. Right. But once we got the flight, we was able to, catch the Uber together and all that type of stuff. And, we ended up having like our own different roommates, but we was still hanging out the whole time. So God gave me a friend. So basically, sum it up, God gave me a friend, so I wasn't by myself. And to this day, we still close.
Right.
And my roommate was a prayer warrior. So interesting. Because that's my calling now. I didn't know that was my calling.
Right.
But she was a prayer warrior. He put me in the room with a prayer warrior. So
isn't it how he was just like for the election?
How he strategically did everything in my life. Yeah.
Right.
He like strategic. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I met Tiffany in the I remember I met her in the elevator. This was when Tiffany was nice. This when Tiffany had a stone face. So I remember I had went downstairs with my friend, and then I had left. We went somewhere, and then I had left my purse. I had left my purse in my room. So I said, I'll be back. Let me get back on the elevator, so that I can get my purse. So when I tried to get on the elevator, guess who was there?
Tiffany was
Tiffany, Stylist, and her sister, and Carrie. So Carrie was nice as normal. Carrie was like, "Hey, how you doing?" I looked at her and I said, "Hey." She's like, "Hey." I still remember that. I told Tiffany that, so I emailed her and I told her that. And I was like, she was laughing. I said, "I remember I met you the first time in the elevator. You looked at me. You was like," I said, "Hey, Tiffany." You was like, "Hey."
Like, why are you talking?
Like, why are you talking to me?
Right, exactly.
But she later explained later why she was like that. Yeah.
Right.
So, but that was funny though. But that was my first time meeting her in person. Was in the elevator. But so yeah. So I got that. I remember. My roommate. She told me right before we had left because we had to change. I forgot what we got to change flights. So we had to drop. She rode the flight with me to Atlanta because she was from Atlanta, and then that was a stop, and then I had to catch the flight to Texas. So when she left, before she left, she was telling me. She said, "I'm gonna tell you right now, because I wanted my prayer language, and I didn't never get my prayer language. She was like, God will give you your prayer language when you go back. When you go back home, you get your prayer language." She said, "But do know all hell gonna break loose, but God is with you. Stay with God. Keep praying, keep staying on the word, and just keep learning. And He's gonna guide you the rest of the way. You're gonna be just fine." She said, "I see so many great things, coming for you." So I'm like, okay. I said, "Thank you." What's going on? I'm like, okay, thank you. So we leave. I go back home to Texas, and sure enough, 2 days after that, all hell broke loose, and all kind of craziness was going on. But what else happened? God told me, let me see, whatever right before He told me to give everything over to Him. Oh yeah, my car. The first thing that happened was the first week of February. My mom was like, "Are you getting you a brand new car?" Because I had a cash car, and so she was like, "Are you gonna get you a brand new car?" And I said, "No, I'm not gonna get no car." And so she was, "What'd you say?"
You like, no.
"No, I'm not getting no car." And so she was like, I said, "I'm fine. My little cash car, I ain't got to pay no car. No, I get this car fixed up, blah, blah, blah." So I'm just telling her all this. So she was like, "No, okay, you going to do that?" I said, "Yeah." I did hear God telling me. He was like, "You going to get your brand new car." So I'm like, "I ain't getting no brand new car. Who get a brand new car? Not me." I said, "I'm going to sit up there, kid." I said, I'm my car be painted. I had already mapped out everything. "Oh, I see you now. You back. Okay." I got it. I said, "I'm getting my car painted." I had already got quotes. Went to different places, try to get my car painted, try to get rims on my car and all this type of stuff. Get a system. I'm just getting everything quoted. So I'm getting all this stuff done in my car. So God like, "You gonna get your brand new car?" I said, "No, I'm not. I'm gonna stay with this car. I don't want to pay no car note." I had plans. I'm getting me a house this year. I'm doing all this stuff. I would say probably like 3 days after I told him no, my whole car broke down. Like the whole entire thing. First, the water pump messed up. We got that replaced. Then something else happened. I think the battery, and my car I had my car for a whole year. It never had messed up.
Wow.
And so I think the battery went out. We got that replaced. Then the next thing, I was on my way to work, and then the whole thing just shut down, and nothing. We couldn't fix it. So we towed it to the shop. They put on a machine and they was like, your transmission went out.
Oh, shoot.
So it was was it my transmission? My motor, not transmission. My motor went out. And I was okay, so how much would it be to fix it? They were like $1,000. Now this is the funny part. When I got my cash card, because the year before I had a car and I had got the car to build on my credit so I could get me a brand new car. And that car had got totaled with the hail damage that we had. It was like a big hailstorm that happened and the car got totaled.
You're in Texas. You're in Texas.
Yeah, I'm in Texas. Where the weather is, Monday you got winter, Tuesday you got spring, Wednesday you have fall, and Thursday you got summer.
Wait. Well, you know what? That's like Chicago. In one day you go from like cold, rainy, sunny, and whatever. Oh, my friend Gabby is asking, what part of Texas are you from? What part?
Oh, Fort Worth.
Fort Worth. Could you turn the mic? Yeah. Thank you. Hold on one second. Yeah, just turn the mic.
If you don't know, Fort Worth it's like 30 minutes away from Dallas.
Because Gabby was asking.
Okay, yeah. Most of the time people Fort Worth, they're like, what's Fort Worth? I'm like, oh, it's just 30 minutes away from Dallas.
You're from Dallas. No, I'm
this is DFW area.
Right.
Yeah, so that's where I'm from. But yeah, so we had the hail damage or whatever. So when I had full coverage on it, but I didn't have gap insurance. The car lot that I had got, the dealership I got it from, didn't have gap insurance. So even though I had full coverage on it, I was still like in a negative. Right. So it was a total loss. My best friend had bought my car because she was like, I know you're a realtor. You got to get this stuff done. I was like, no, girl, I'm having to close and I go give me a car. She was like, no, you need to get you a cash car because you got stuff you're trying to do, whatever. And I want to make sure you and my godson, you're taking care of and you're okay. So she spent $1,000 and bought me this cash car. It was a good cash car. She had got it from CarMax. And so, but yeah, girl, that whole car broke down. And when they told me $1,000, I laughed because that was the same price of the car. So I'm like, okay, guys, I'm not about to play with you. So I called.
Well, he was telling you were gonna get a new car, and you were just like, "No, ma'am, no, sir."
No, I don't tell them. Yeah, this is my relationship with God. I know people be like, "You talk to God like that?" I'm like, we have an understanding. I love him. I respect him. Of course. But we just talk like this. He always telling me something. I say no, and I end up doing it anyway. Right. So just like with that car, he told me I was gonna give him a brand new car. Right. And guess what? Guess who was calling the dealerships? And when I called them, they was like, "So why do you want to get your car?" I said, "I don't want to get me a car. Jesus want me to get a car." They said, "Jesus wants you to get a car." I said, "Yes, Jesus want me to get a car." I said, "I had a brand new car. I had me a cash car that I was fine with. The whole car just totaled." Just broke completely down within this 1 week, within 3 days. Right. I said, so apparently Jesus wanted me to get a car, so I'm just gonna come in and get it. He was like, okay, so I've never heard nobody say that. He said, "Will you come in?" I said, "All right." So I came in, me and my daddy came in, and so my daddy's sitting there. And this is after, was this before I gave my whole life? No, this is before. So I'm sitting there or whatever. And me and my dad, and he was talking to me. He was like, "Yeah, you told me earlier that Jesus gets his car." I said, "Yes, he did." He's like, "What you mean by that?" I said, "Well, I don't want a brand new car." I said, "I had a cash car. I've been having that car for a year. I never had no problems with this car." I said, "God told me to get a brand new car." I told him no. He broke my car down within the last 2 days. I said, the same price to get my car fixed was the same price I paid. So I just figured that, it's time for me to get a new car. So I'm just here because Jesus wanted me to get a new car. So he said, "Okay, go ahead, apply, and I'll be right back." I said, "All right." So I applied. And he was in my daddy too. He was like, Jesus, she was like, So we
just let her fill out the paperwork.
Yeah, we'll probably do everything or whatever. And I knew my credit wasn't qualified. I'm kid you not. My credit wasn't qualified or nothing. So I'm like, I don't know. I guess a miracle has to happen if I get this car.
Right.
So I go. So he comes back. The man comes back and he's like, "What kind of car you want?" So I told him what kind of car I wanted. And so he came back. He was like, "Well, I ain't gonna be able to get you that car, but I can get you this car." And I was like, what's this? It's a 2017, and it was a Nissan Versa. It was, I'll get you this 2017 Nissan Versa Sport. He said, now, it's not the car you want, but you can get this car, keep it for like a year, make sure you do everything right, and then you get, go back and get refinanced and get the car you want.
Right.
So I'm like, okay. He said, you fine with that? I said, yeah, whatever. At this point, I'm just like, whatever. He like, yeah. So, okay, cool. I can do it. So he said, okay. He left. He came back. He was like, you're not going to believe this. I was like, what? He said, the car that we got you qualified for, it's brand new. Just made it on the lot. Now, I forgot. I have to go back. I had a church member when I didn't have no car, because I was out of my car for like a week. Yeah, it was a week. I was out of my car for a week. I had a church member. I had went to church on a Sunday, and I still was doing my job. I still was doing hospitality. I still was doing my corner of love, and I still was going to church. So I went to church one Sunday. My church member, I was at the altar. I think my pastor called out for prayer. So I went out for prayer. When I came back, she grabbed my arm, and she was like, I got a word for you from the Lord. And I was like, okay. And so she was like, well, the Lord is telling me that he's going to give you a brand new car. She said it's going to be brand new, straight off the like, will still have the plastic on it. So I said, okay. And I'm like, all right. Sure enough, get to this place. The man tells me, he's like, you're not going to believe this. I was like, what? He said, we got a brand new car for you, just made on the lot. Just made on the lot today. It still got the plastic on it.
Oh, my God.
So I'm over here just laughing. And he was like, why are you laughing? And I said, you wouldn't even believe me if I told you. But
oh, God, he was trying to give you that car sooner. But
I was like, yeah, you wouldn't believe me when I told you. I said, but someone that, told me, gave me this word that said the same thing. He was like, really? I was like, yeah, so okay. So we went out there, seen the car. It still had plastic on it and everything. Drove off in the car. I went to church that week. I went to church that week. I told the lady, because she worked at the church, and I told her what happened. She called my pastor out, and they was looking at it, and she was like, I told her this word, and look what happened. It still had the plastic on it. So, but that was so funny. But yeah, that was one of the things. I think right after I got that car is when God had spoke to me, and he told me that he wanted me to give everything over to him. He was like, I don't want you partying no more. I don't want you to have sex no more. I want you to completely dedicate yourself to me. No more drinking, none of that. And I was like, for just a little bit, like, for a week or, like a month.
Let me just recap. So and all this, because different things lead up to this event, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So prior to this, you had lost your job, your grandma passed away.
Mm-hmm.
And then the guy that you thought, and I'm looking at my notes, the guy that you kind of liked or thought you guys were in a relationship, but you guys were
a situationship.
Oh, in a relationship, and all of a sudden, and then all of a sudden he was in another relationship.
Yeah.
Some other, girl. We ain't gonna say no, but another girl. So
yeah.
And then God had told you he's gonna give you the car, but you didn't listen. So he made the car break down. Literally, it didn't work no more. So there's your car. I just wanted to recap everything. I'm sure there's other little things there. I'm sure that, but all that, and then God is telling you just need to give it up. The drinking, the partying, no more sex. And you're like everybody else, like, well, can I give me a week to think about that?
Yeah, I'm like, okay, I can do. I just wanted to know the time frame. Like, am I doing this for a week? I think it's like a fast. Because I know about the fast. I had fasted before I gave my life over to God. I used to fast with my church, so I already knew about the 6 a.m., 6 p.m. fast and water only. I was like, okay, this is a fast. Like, I can do this for like a week. And he was like, no, like, it's gonna be ongoing. I was like, huh? I was like, I can't, like, not even have just like some champagne, some wine, nothing like that. He's like, no. He's like, I need you to get. I said, okay, God, I'll do it. Yes. But what really, and like I told you about, my family still in the inheritance too, and they acted when my granny died. The whole funeral process, it was like just straight crazy. But I talk more about that in my books. I don't want to take that too long, but that was kind of led up to that too, with the process of that, and me just going back, looking at my family, looking at my life. And I was like, Lord, that's one thing that made me go to Millions Conference as well when God told me, because I was like, I see where my family's at, and I don't want us to be here. I want us to be at a different place. I want me to be at a different place. I want my family to be at a different place. If it takes me saying yes to see everybody else change and everybody's life get better, then Lord, I'll be willing to do it. Did I think that me saying yes was going to help save other people? No.
No.
I said yes, for me and my family, but I didn't know it was going to be saving, helping other people, because some of my family still ain't trying to get right. They just looking at me like, okay, Ty.
Good for you.
Okay, Holy girl. Yeah, okay, Holy, go pray for us. I'm going to set you over and drink this wine.
I sip my champagne.
Y'all keep smoking this weed, but go on pray for me. But,
because it's so true. It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Like your own family. I think a lot of people can relate to that. They're like, yeah, you go do your business over there, but let me just do my business over here. You change.
Yeah.
We're not gonna change. Which, whatever. It is what it is. It is what it is.
Yeah. You find out later what your calling really is for. It's bigger than your family. It's so much more bigger. Exactly. And I did not, and I literally obeyed God. I started, God put me on a Bible fast. Like, I was just reading. I wasn't even watching TV. I was just literally in my Bible, reading it from Genesis all the way to Revelation. And then I started I started asking God to send me to particular scriptures of particular people. I started studying characters. Then I started studying books of the Bible. And I started reading it in 3 different versions. I had the U version from my pastor telling me that, and my pastor telling me read it from 3 different versions. Then I started following Tiffany. Tiffany started telling us different stuff on how to break down the Bible. Look at the Hebrew definition about the Hebrew Greek Bible. Started looking at that. Look at the dictionary definition of it. So I just started learning how to really not just read the Bible, but study it. And I started learning how to meditate on it and just everything. Prayer. God had me praying. And then later on, I found out I was an intercessor. He told me that I was an intercessor. And then most of y'all don't know what an intercessor is. It's a person that prays. It's like a prayer warrior. So we're the person that intercedes. It's like, say, for instance, God is right here and you're right here. And for some reason, you can't connect to God. Well, the intercessor is the person that intercedes and kind of bridge that gap together.
Right.
So that's what.
Yeah, I was gonna say, make sure to tell us what that means, because some people. Number one, it's true. Number 2, especially when people really start, reading, like you said, reading the Bible and getting to know God. There's a lot of these little words that I for sure was like, what does that mean? Like, I don't know what that means. Like, I remember one of my friends, she's probably still on here. Gabby was like, you don't know what that covenant word? I don't know, covenant. What is that? And I'm like, yeah. And I told her, I was like, are you cussing me out or something?
Yeah.
She's like,
and then you'll come to me about stuff, and I say, go study it. And you're like, what?
I was like, I don't know what does that mean? Right, exactly. So, yeah, you brought that word intercessor, because a lot of people are like, what does that word mean? Which is great, right? And one of the good things is that what you emphasize, and Tiffany and your pastor as well, is that it's really to go back, or not, I guess go back, or just go into the Bible, period, to read it, because a lot of people don't read it.
Yeah.
A lot of people
and one of the things that I learned as being an intercessor, and I know, now I know why God had me fasting, and he also put me on that Bible fast as well. And I didn't understand why he was so strict on me doing that. But as time went on, it's been 3 years now, I see why. Preparing me for such a time as this, me being disciplined at that time was helping me to get to where I'm at now. Where people could come to me and ask me different questions about stuff, and I know, they be like, Ty, you a walking, talking Bible. I'm like, I had no choice. Like, he made me study that Bible. So I'm like, people will come up to me, tell me stuff, I'm like, oh yeah, you can find that in Job. You can find this over here. This Psalm 23. My pastor be like, he like, oh, Ty, she prays scriptures. Some people cry. He said, try to pray scripture. And I do because, yeah, that's good because like you have to, and I try to do that same thing with my son and with my nephews. Like right now, I got one of my nephews. I got him reading Deuteronomy 28. He was like, ain't that long? 160 something. I said, yeah, but see, 1 through 14. If you do right, you got all the blessings. I said, but if you bad, go read 15 through 68.
There you go.
Like that's long. I said that's how God feels when y'all do bad because these are the curses last longer. I said when you can if you just be obedient, the blessings are so much more easier. But when you disobedient, the curses is so much longer and it's so much harder when you don't even have to go through that. Right. So that's my thing with them. I'm teaching them stuff now. Because teaching them stuff that I wish I would have been taught as I was growing up. Like I knew about the Lord, we knew about church, but we didn't know about like really studying the Bible and knowing, fasting and we didn't know all this stuff when we was growing up. So I try to teach. Yeah, I try to teach my kids stuff now. Things that I wish I would have been taught at their age. Right. Because I do believe that we do need to go in the four walls. But with the times, how the times is shifting now, I believe that people need to have a relationship with God first, especially before they go inside of a church. I believe that you should get a relationship with God. And I know some people may battle me with that, but when you're dealing with people that say, I don't believe in church hurt, but it's a lot of people that say church hurt. So when you deal with somebody that say they've been church hurt and they go to a church and they only go into a church because somebody told them to go there, or they going to church for fame, or they going to church for some other reason. Or they going to church because they love that pastor, or they going to church because that first lady, or whatever that their thing is. When that person disappoints them, they looking at that person as God. And when that person disappoints them, it gives them an idea that that's how God is too. And then they be like, I don't want to have, God hurt me. No, God didn't hurt you. That person is a human. But if you have a relationship with God, then when that person does something that's not of God or they disappoint you, you'll know how to still have a relationship with God in spite of. And so that's my biggest thing, like when I'm teaching people or talking to people or whatever God using me in, case management, counseling people, real estate counseling people, marriage counseling. I think I'm a counselor too. Whatever you use me in to counsel people, whatever you use me in to counsel people in, I'm just like, my number one thing is have a relationship with God. Start with prayer. Just start with reading the scripture, one scripture a day. Start with a 5-minute prayer, but just start. That's all you got to do. Just start.
Right. So let me go through these. I remember I sent you the questions and you said you have quick answers. So we shall see. So we've been through everything that you've been through. The first question is advice you would give women that are going through the same thing you went through. So what some advice would you give them?
Run.
Are you talking about the man portion? The man portion there?
Run from the man situation. Don't do it. Like how you watch that scary movie or that movie where it's kind of like Fatal Attraction or something. You be like, girl, you dumb. Don't do it. Don't do it, girl. Don't do it. That's how I am like right now. So I always tell people, the one thing that I wish that I would have done years ago that I know now is that I wish I would have waited to have sex. I did. I do. I wish that I would have. I wish I would have waited to have sex with the right person. I wish that I would have sought. I wish I would have sought God in regards to my spouse and prayed for my spouse at an earlier time in my life versus me just dating different people and just trying to go with the wind. I wish that I would have, like the Bible said, Matthew 6:33, seek thy kingdom first and all things be added to you. So I wish I would have prayed more specifically. Not saying I didn't pray, but I wasn't strategic in my prayers. So I wish I would have been strategic in my prayers in regards to my career, in regards to my marriage, in regards to how I wanted my wealth, in regards to my children, in regards to everything in my life. I wish I would have been more strategic, and I wish I would have did it faster.
Right, I get it.
I wish I would have. I wish I would have knew God at an earlier. Would have been as close to God as I am now at an earlier age of my life. I feel like that. I'm kind of behind.
He's like, run, Forrest, run. Which
run, girl, run! Don't do it.
You know what? I completely
don't get in that soul tie. Please don't get in the soul tie.
I was just about to say that. So funny. This weekend we had the same conversation, and this is where this whole 30 days, 30 women story really came from.
Yeah.
Where I told you we were sitting having dinner, lunch, reading a book.
Yeah.
And and I was just saying, had I known, like you just said about soul ties, and I'm very public now. I even told one of my aunts, I'm like, had I known the severity of soul ties, and somebody really would have said, like, this is the consequences.
Yeah.
My legs are closed. Like, no. You know what I mean? Like, and it's no joke, because, if you really, because if you look into soul ties, it never dawned on me. I think you're one of the first ones who said that. I was like, so, I mean, there is scripture that says, once you lay with somebody, part of you. So that, yeah, definitely. But I was like, I told my auntie, I would have kept my legs closed. You ain't getting none of this. Nobody getting nothing, because that, that could be like for another.
Yeah, if you knew how many, it's not even, when people think about soul ties, they think about, the sexual partners they had and stuff. No, it's not even you just entering the soul. It's you taking in their demons. Like, they got demons in their families, demons they've been dealing with. And you don't even know, like, when my baby daddy was 9 years older than me. And, he had kids before me. He was involved in a lot of different stuff. But, I'm young, so I'm like, oh, yeah, it's fine. You spend a game, la, la, la. I don't care about that stuff. I'm just la, da, 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 da. I'm just like, la, da, da, da. And don't know why I'm getting so attacked. Like, I'm just like, I'm this sweet person to him. We stand together. I'm washing clothes. I'm cooking. I'm acting like a real, live wife. And I'm like 23, 24 years old, going to school, full-time job, no kids. With this man that got kids, that done been married before, and I'm just like, cooking, cleaning, doing all kind of stuff. I'm like, why I keep getting attacked? Like, I don't know all this stuff happens to me. But if I would have known what I knew then, I can't say I didn't have warnings. I had like 2 coworkers that warned me. I had my ex-boyfriend, because my ex-boyfriend had a friend that knew him. It was like, and my ex-boyfriend, what was crazy was that we didn't even really talk like that. We was like really, really close. Right. Because we was childhood friends too. This is a different guy. But we was childhood friends too. And we was close, but we had stopped talking to us for a while. But he came back, like right around I talking to my baby daddy, he ended up coming back into my life. And I guess he came in to warn me, but he was like coming and was like, you don't need to talk to him, so I don't get in your relationship and stuff, but say right now, that one, you don't need to talk to him. And I was like, no, I think I can talk to him. I'm thinking it's okay, whatever. Child, when I tell people, they were like, well, how do you know so much? I said, my baby daddy taught me a whole lot, okay? But I said he taught me a lot about life. He taught me a lot. I can tell a liar from he's a habitual liar. He just did all kind of stuff. Like, you talking about want to kill somebody?
No.
Run over twice and park the car in their head. Girl, what saved him was my son. My son saved him. Like, my son saved him. So. Oh, yeah, I did a lot of crazy stuff. People were like, "So you did that?" Let me not tell y'all.
I always tell my students, because I was a high school teacher, never leave evidence behind. So,
oh yeah,
never say nothing. That's what
But I'm saved now, y'all. I promise y'all I'm not crazy no more.
No. Okay.
But I'm saved.
But she knows a few things, just saying.
Jesus found me. Yeah.
Question number 2. What are some important things? I think you've said this throughout the interview, but definitely just emphasizing, what are some important things to do as a Christian woman now, you think, that you can give advice? I know you said read the Bible. That's really important.
Yeah. One of the important things I would say would definitely be read your word. We're coming to a time where the word, where the Bible, we're coming to a time where you being holy is going to be the strange thing looked bad upon, and
Right.
you being in the world is going to be the great thing. Like
Right.
I done literally like in this dating life, I had talked to somebody and told them
Oh,
that I was, and I don't even really date y'all. I don't. But this person had reached out to me. But I was talking to them about, they asked us a couple of questions, and I think we got on the topic of sex or whatever, and it was like, you really want to wait until you get married? Why you gonna wait till you get married and have sex? You already had sex before you got a child. I was like, because I want to make sure that I'm married and I'm having sex with the right person. I don't want to be creating soul ties. Soul
correct.
ties, what's that? So I'm telling them that, whatever. Well, I just can't. I think you're a wonderful person, but I just can't see myself waiting until you get married. I said, well, that means you just ain't the one for me. You probably want to go talk to Top Side, but I'm just not the person that you want to talk to. I'm just not that person.
Right.
But what it made me see from that, and then just looking at, I like to watch Kino Serene, my girl. I be watching TV shows, and she was like, Ty, why are you watching these type of shows? And I said, I have to watch these shows. I said, like, I'm guarding myself. I know y'all be like, what? How are you watching that? I gotta watch it so I can see what's going on in the world. And
Right.
like for me, because God is always sending people that's in the world to me, I have
Mm-hmm.
to figure out what's going on in their mind. So I'm watching these
Right.
shows so I can understand what's really going on in their mind.
That's
So
true. That's true.
I'm talking. I mean, I'm looking at the show, whatever, and I see that what I realize and stuff is that people, the world is going to be more glorified than Jesus is. It's going to be
Correct.
like a famine in being holy, a famine in reading the Bible. So I
Mm-hmm.
always tell people now, as much as you can, read the Bible. Don't just have like a technical, digital Bible, but make sure you
Yeah.
actually have a physical Bible as well. Get two or three of them. Buy them for your family. Buy
One.
them for yourself. Buy
Yeah.
them buy them as gifts. Buy
Right.
them as gifts to your children, gifts to people for their birthdays. Just any type of gift. Buy them. Make sure that you're giving God the glory, because we're going to need the word in order to get through these next couple of years, these next couple of months. You're going to need the word to get through it, because
Right.
it's not like it's going to get any better. It's going to get worse before it gets better. But if you got like I was telling my mom this morning today, it's not that we're not going to go through trials. It's not that we're
Right.
not going to go in the lion's den. It's not that
Yeah.
we're not going to go through the storm. But
Right.
if you have God with you, when you go through the storm, when you go through those trials, when you go through those persecutions, it won't be as bad, because you have some help. Just like what Elijah had told his servant was like, oh my God, I got all these armies still coming against me. He said, God, open up his eyes so they can see he got more fighting for him against him. And when God
Right.
opened up his eyes, he seen he had more angels fighting for him than those armies that was coming against him. That's what you need, because when people come in here like, I don't want to go. I think I had a friend. She was like, I don't want to go through the fire. I said, girl, you already going through it. What you talking about? You already going through the fire. But
I
the
mean,
difference is, do you want to go through the fire by yourself, or do you want to go through fire with God?
I was gonna say, well, do you want to go to hell? Because that's about to get fired right there.
Yeah,
I mean,
they
that was
want to do it anyway.
right. Exactly. Oh, and going back to your point, like somebody not wanted to wait for having sex before marriage. It's like, well, the Bible says it, and I guess I'm very to the extreme to saying like, well, you pay the consequence, you go to hell. Like, I ain't trying to go to hell. That's a long time.
Listen,
You know,
yeah,
that's a long time. So we're not trying to go over there,
child, me neither.
right? Who said
But
something?
yeah, so
Let me see.
that's what So that's one of the things. Oh, I died.
But really just to emphasize, my concept is really read the Bible and get really into the word. This one, couple of my friends suggested this Bible. Every day not a Bible for women, and what I like, it has like a bit of little passages, for example, like this direction, so it gives you a little bit of example there, and you can come back on here. book of it, okay? And then I also have my other Bible, and I like this one because of the notes at the bottom, right? So I'm always reading the scripture and then the notes in the bottom, because it gives you more information as to what we're doing that time. So definitely get yourself a Bible. Very, very important. Let me see. And let me put this back up here. If you want to reach out to Ty, again, she is an amazing woman of God. One of, like I said, one of the 5 in one hand that I can really say I trust, and anything she says, I know it's coming from a good place. And as you just heard her, she really does spend a lot of time with God. So even though sometimes I may kick my feet and all that stuff, but it will get done. Definitely, you can message her or follow her on IG, Tyniqua Miller, and then her Facebook group, Tyniqua Miller Real Estate. She's a real estate agent in Texas, and definitely go to her website. She also does credit repair consultation, stuff like that. Faithfulkeys.weebly.com. Check that out and contact her, and definitely connect with her tomorrow. There we go. Yes, godly counsel is very, very important. I think I said that yesterday. I remember, but definitely that is a key thing as well. Godly counsel, because a lot of people will steer you. They might have good intentions or may not, or what have you, but sometimes they steer you and not give you the best advice. So definitely tune in tomorrow, and do me a huge favor, share the video right now to your wall. If you have a Facebook group, definitely share that out. Tag people so they can come back and watch it. So for the rest of the month, we are going to have one person every single month, one lady sharing their testimony. Tomorrow, I can tell you, tomorrow we will be on at 5 p.m. Pacific time with Juanita. She is ready to share her testimony. And again, 2 things. If you want to share your testimony, definitely comment below, DM me or text me if you have my number. Hey, Serene, thank you for watching. Let me go back here. There we go. Comment below, text me if you have my number, or DM me and say, hey, I want to participate. I have still a few days open in September. Or you might say, I'm a little shy. I'm not ready. I'm not ready yet. That is totally fine. You can help me by tuning in every single day, or simply just sharing it to your wall. I go live on Facebook, but it's also live on YouTube. So sometimes you want to hear YouTube or put it on the TV, totally fine. Don't forget to go to YouTube. Where is this here? Where did I leave it? Here we go. Don't forget to go to YouTube and subscribe to A Note for God so you can see it. All the videos are going to be there. Yesterday's video is already there. Today, as soon as we end it, is going to be on there. All right. So if you have any questions, definitely comment below. I'll come back and answer. Serene, tomorrow I will be live at 5. I go live every day, but different times, because everybody lives in different time zones. So tomorrow would be 5, and then Friday, just give another one, it'll be 7 p.m. all 7 p.m. Pacific time. So it's different time frames, and I'll usually will post that. Post it in the morning on my Facebook wall, just to give you an idea if for whatever reason you miss it. Like I said, if you subscribe to A Note for God on YouTube, you'll watch the video there. Alrighty. Sharika, definitely I'll DM you afterwards, or DM me and we'll set up a day. Because like I said, I still have some dates open. All right, so you guys have a fantastic night. And definitely get into the word to read it. Thank you so much for sharing your time with me and sharing our testimony. It's really a time that we share our testimonies, because we all go through stuff, right? And we've been through stuff, and I don't want, we should really start sharing. That's the whole point. Really start sharing, because this is the reason. Because I feel like during this time with this whole quarantine, people are being locked up, and a lot of people are feeling alone, or I'm going through this by myself, and who can I talk to? That this shouldn't be the case, right? So definitely She can't get back on. That's fine. So definitely share this out, and you guys have a fantastic night. All right. Thank you.